PB Blaster for fast, effective relief.
What's up, my friends? Hello and welcome back to the channel. I am T, I am your host. It's raining. What that means is, for me, it was almost a race weekend, but it just looked too sketchy in the forecast for me to drive 3 hours. And this is what's happening at home, and the forecast was definitely very similar. I was gonna go do some more no prep. There was a cash days going on. So instead, let's work on some projects. Oh, and I got me some new parts. These were free. This was free 99. And did I need any of this stuff? No. We have here a set of 452 big block heads, complete with rocker arms and shafts. We have a rusty set of 906s. We have a 904 torque flight. That supposedly worked. And it was mated up to this here 273 small block. Supposedly ran when pulled as well. I was told it was tired. So we've got future project stuff going on here. I also ended up with a few other miscellaneous things. A cast 440 crank, some front drum brakes from a 67 Satellite. I don't know what I'm going to do with those. I got them because why not? He was going to throw everything in the dumpster. I couldn't allow that. If you need any of this stuff, I'm certainly willing to help a guy out. The only thing that I'm worried about keeping is the 452 heads. Those are now a secondary option for the free 83. I missed some good thunder as far as the video here is concerned. Sorry about that. Glad I got those moved. I redid Mrs. T's garden boxes. There you go. What are you doing? This kid climbs anything more than any cat I think I've ever seen in my life. So I'm not done cleaning the garage. I've done quite a bit, but I do have to devote some time to my latest project. And you've met this car before, the Dart, my 1967 2.0, the non-race car. And we're going to take a peek at it. We got a few things that I'm looking to do in hopes of getting it closer to roadworthy. Well, the piece that mounts here and goes up and holds the hood latch, that got messed up pretty good. So I need to replace that. This underneath section here is in pretty rough shape. It definitely got bounced off a thing or two. And it did look like there was a section of that in the trunk. Like somebody was just planning on cutting and re-welding. Cat's back. So I don't know if I'll get to that today. I do have a different radiator. I did. Oh, there it is. This radiator is out of Riley's Duster, Daryl. Been trying to figure out what that said. Somebody did some funny business. It says Buddy. I definitely see Buddy in there. And maybe Pink. Who knows? That looks like somebody attempted to create a... We're going to hope this radiator is a little bit better than the one in the car. This one does not look a whole lot better. We definitely have some corrosion, things. Thing I'm going to find out is how close these match up. Now in this car, there's a lot less tank and core. There's a big bunch of bracket on this side, unlike that one down there. That goes pretty much core bracket to bracket. In theory, that should mean extra capacity for this car. And of course, there's some maintenance things that I will do once I know that we have a car that runs and drives. We had a master cylinder that was half full, complete empty reservoir in the front. I filled it up, but I haven't looked at it since. So we'll also, jack this up, pull the drum off, and try and check out the inside there. One of my first thoughts was get the tank pulled and clean it. Wanted to see this fuel line. It does have some surface rust on it. That is a bit of a worry. It did have an issue at some point where somebody felt the need to cut and splice. But it gets crusty, really crusty right in here. So we'll pull this out. Suppose we could just pull it out completely from there back. And then I wanted to pull the tank. I don't think there's anything in there, but I want to try and use the tank. So I'm going to pull it, open it up, and take a peek inside and see what it looks like. And then we've got some wheel cylinders to check back here. Air shocks. And if you look at this, you can probably guess why. These springs are so bad. Which is why I think they added the 9-mile long shackle to try and raise the back end some. And I'm actually going to take this freaking rope out. So maybe they put it down here to tie a tarp over it or something. I don't know. A tie spot for that. This leaf spring has negative arch. I love it. It has had this brake line replaced at one point, but they left the old one in and attached to the bracket. Looks like this car was undercoated from the factory. Most of that gone. A lot of surface rust. See, maybe a little bit. Well, that's probably just undercoating still, flaking. So this car is actually really solid still. But this surface rust will eventually become a problem. We'll check the fluid in the 7 1/4. U-joint might be a little vintage, we'll see. This front one looks a little hammered. So we'll probably, quite possibly, be doing U-joints on it. Floors are solid. They are actually really solid. So this is a really good base for a restoration. Would be nice to get it up on a rotisserie and get it blasted and all that fun stuff. I don't know how far I'm going to go with it. Trunk extensions, not too shabby. And the wheel, the spare tire well, not bad at all either. We should put a little air in though, see how high these go. This car, it looks like it has so much potential for a good builder. So I'm going to start by spraying a little penetrant where I need it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and get the tank dropped. The garage reeks of PB Blaster. That's the only bad thing about it. Now we've sprayed a bunch of it everywhere. In several places. So I've got the door open trying to air things out. Hey, Daryl. I think we're going to give this one a whirl. Try and drop this tank. We'll see what happens there.
PB Blaster. Work it like a pro.
Maybe I should practice that if I want to do sponsorships. Part of the protective liner. We've got some, what do you guys call those? Dirt daubers. Somehow the J-bolt survived. I'd like to get it out so I can clean it up a little bit better. But with the PB, no issues. 2 nuts were on it holding it up there, and well, they worked their way off pretty nice. So we got to get those out of there. Hey, they're holding the air lines up for the air shocks, though. That's good. I'm going to pull that out. That looks interesting. But I can take this trap out and clean that up as well. Yeah, I would like to get this J-bolt out. Yeah, we'll see. So this was probably the first time this tank's ever been out of the car. Well, maybe. Got a little hose clamp that was stuck up there. Maybe it has been down before. So this rubber hose looked newer than 1967 as well. And something attempted to live here. Make sure that ceases to exist. Wonder if this has been replaced at some point. This really doesn't feel too bad at all. Nice and flexible. A little cracking on the inside. So we'll look into that. little bit of stinky liquid. So I'm going to go ahead and knock the pickup tube out. Maybe we can get a better idea, shine some light in there. If you haven't done one of these before, they're real simple to get out. Take a screwdriver and just give it a couple of taps with a blunt instrument, such as a hammer, until the ring is outside of its locking area. I'm going to take this little strap off here. It's kind of in my way. This portion's been in there for a while. It took a little bit of manipulation to get that out, to get it to even budge. There's our pickup tube float, which at least has motion. It's nice and rusty. There's a little surfacey rust up in here where there was no fluid. So I do have a little bit of cleaning I want to do to it. The tank otherwise looks pretty good. I'm hoping that'll clean up a little bit better. So I'm going to get this bad mamma jamma soaking internally in a little, probably vinegar and baking soda, I think. Seems like a good option. It's not terribly bad inside. There's just some surface stuff that I'm hoping to clear up. And we've also got the back section of the fuel line out. I think worth replacing. So we've got some parts to go get. We're going to do that another day. And also another day I'm going to start on the brakes. So I'm going to go ahead and order some parts. I'm going to go ahead and let the tank soak. But before we go, I'm going to tempt the fates and remove this rope. And do not consider it bonus stuff from buying this car. We have to get a new knife too. Well, that was fun. See, we now have square ropes. It's got corners in it. Yeah, no idea what it was actually doing, what purpose it was serving. There we go. We no longer have to worry about that rope. I'm going to get on those things I said, something about ordering parts, cleaning parts, maybe trying to deal with some of this rust, at least slow it down till this car can get restored or we actually make some decisions on the long term for it. I'll probably start digging into these back brakes. See if we can't flush some fluid through the lines, see if we can find any leaks. Replace parts as necessary. We'll do that in another video. So we'll see you on the other side of this tank soaking and this fuel line replacing. Trying to get this car to where it'll run on its own parts and pieces so I don't have to use a makeshift fuel tank in the engine compartment. Oh, spare tire. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. We'll be back very soon. We've got a bunch of stuff we want to get done on this car, and we want to get it done very soon. So we can possibly give it the old summer cruise. How about that? Take it easy, y'all. We'll see you on the next one. Well, that comes out pretty easy once you can see it. Ta-da! Apparently the air shocks work. But will they hold?